Nick Aldis update on Cody Rhodes after attack YouTube script. So WWE is seriously going to have Drew McIntyre attack Cody Rhodes backstage like a coward, potentially injure the WWE champion, and then Nick Aldis comes out to give us some corporate PR statement instead of actually doing something about it. Are you kidding me right now? The undisputed WWE champion gets brutally assaulted behind the scenes by someone who's supposed to be a professional, and the SmackDown general manager's response is to give us an update like this is some kind of weather report. This is either setting up the most intense blood feud we've seen in years, or it's WWE once again protecting their top stars in ways that make no sense. And what Nick Aldis said in his update has the entire wrestling community questioning everything we thought we knew about Cody's status and Drew McIntyre's future. Before we break down every word of Aldis's update, tell me, should Drew McIntyre be fired for attacking the champion backstage? Or is this just business as usual in WWE? Drop your take below. The wrestling world is in absolute chaos after Drew McIntyre's vicious backstage attack on Cody Rhodes at SmackDown. And instead of immediate consequences, instead of security footage being shown, instead of Drew being arrested on the spot, we get Nick Aldis walking out to give us an update. Like this is some kind of injury report and not an assault. Let's break down what allegedly happened because the details are critical. According to reports, Drew McIntyre ambushed Cody Rhodes in the backstage area. This wasn't in the ring where there are rules and referees. This wasn't during a match where anything goes. This was in the workplace where WWE employees should be safe. Drew apparently came out of nowhere and unleashed a brutal beatdown on the WWE champion. Claymore kicks, weapon shots, whatever Drew could get his hands on to inflict maximum damage. This was personal, this was vicious, and this was calculated to hurt Cody as badly as possible. The question everyone's asking is, why? What did Cody do to deserve this? What's Drew's motivation? Is this about championship aspirations? Is this personal beef that's been brewing? Is someone paying Drew to take out the champion? We need answers. And more importantly, what is Cody's condition? That's what Nick Aldis's update was supposed to address. Is Cody injured? Is he cleared to compete? Is he going to have to relinquish the title? The uncertainty is driving fans crazy. What do you think Drew's motivation is? Money? Jealousy? Orders from someone? Give me your theory. Now let's talk about Nick Aldis and his role in all this because the SmackDown GM is in an impossible position. He's responsible for maintaining order on his brand, but he also can't be everywhere at once. Backstage attacks happen, and he has to respond appropriately. According to reports, Aldis came out and delivered an update on Cody's condition. But here's what's infuriating, was it a real update with specific medical information? Or was it vague corporate speak designed to keep us guessing? WWE loves being mysterious about injuries, and it drives fans insane. If Aldis came out and said, Cody is injured and will be out for X weeks, that's straightforward. We know what we're dealing with. We can adjust our expectations. The storyline has clarity. But if Aldis gave us one of those Cody is being evaluated and will know more soon updates, that tells us nothing. That's WWE keeping their options open. That's them refusing to commit to a direction. That's frustrating for fans who just want to know if their champion is okay. What consequences did Aldis announce for Drew? That's the other crucial element. Did he suspend Drew? Fine him? Ban him from the building? Or did he do nothing and just let this slide because boys will be boys in wrestling? If there are no consequences, that sends a terrible message. It says you can attack people backstage with no repercussions as long as you're a star. It creates a lawless environment where anyone can assault anyone. But if Aldis dropped the hammer on Drew with serious punishment, that shows WWE is taking this seriously. It shows that attacking the champion backstage is not acceptable. It creates legitimate heat for Drew and sympathy for Cody. Should Nick Aldis have fired Drew McIntyre on the spot? Why or why not? Give me your reasoning. Here's what's making people absolutely furious. This feels like WWE is once again using backstage attacks as a crutch for storytelling. How many times have we seen this exact angle? Someone attacks the champion backstage, they're injured, and it creates drama. It worked with Stone Cold and the car. It worked with various parking lot brawls. But at some point, it becomes repetitive. At some point, fans want something new instead of the same formula recycled over and over. Plus, backstage attacks always raise the same logical questions. Where's security? Where are the other wrestlers? Why doesn't someone intervene? Why is Drew allowed to just walk away after committing assault? The plot holes are massive. WWE needs to address these questions. Show us security trying to stop Drew but failing. Show us other wrestlers being held back. Show us the aftermath in a realistic way. Make it feel like this actually happened in a real workplace instead of a scripted show. The counterargument is that backstage attacks are effective. They generate buzz. They create urgency. They make fans worry about their favorite wrestler. Sometimes the old formulas work because they tap into basic human emotions. And a well-executed backstage attack can be memorable. When done right, these moments become iconic. They're the kind of segments people remember years later. So maybe we shouldn't dismiss the trope just because it's been done before. Have backstage attacks become overused in WWE? Or do they still work when done right? Defend your position. Let's discuss what this means for Cody Rhodes and his championship reign. Because if he's legitimately injured, if he has to miss time, this could derail everything WWE has built with him. Cody is the WWE champion. He's the face of the company. He's the guy who finished his story at WrestleMania. He's been having incredible matches and carrying the brand. Losing him for any amount of time would be catastrophic for SmackDown. WWE has built their entire programming around Cody being the centerpiece. He's in the main events. He's doing the media. He's the one casuals recognize. If he's suddenly gone, who fills that void? Who becomes the focal point of SmackDown? This is why the Nick Aldis update is so important. If Cody is cleared to compete, if the attack didn't cause serious injury, then this is just the next chapter in his championship story. But if Cody is hurt, WWE has a massive problem on their hands. They could have Cody relinquish the title if the injury is severe. That would be devastating for fans who've invested in his journey. But it would also create opportunities for other wrestlers to step up. Or they could have Cody fight through the injury, compete hurt, and show his toughness. That's the traditional wrestling approach. The champion battles through adversity. But it's also risky if Cody actually needs time to heal. The third option is that this is all a work and Cody isn't actually hurt. The attack looked bad, but it was designed to create drama without actual injury. That's probably the most likely scenario, but WWE needs to sell it convincingly. If you were Cody, would you fight through injury or take time off to heal properly? What's more important? Now let's talk about Drew McIntyre's character because this attack tells us everything about where WWE is taking him. Drew has been fluctuating between face and heel for a while now, but attacking the beloved champion backstage is a definitive heel move. This isn't tweener behavior. This isn't morally gray. This is villainous. Drew is positioning himself as someone willing to do anything to get what he wants, and what he wants is apparently to hurt Cody Rhodes. The question is, what's Drew's endgame? Is he after the WWE Championship? That would make sense. Taking out the champion to create an opportunity for himself is classic heel logic. If Cody has to vacate due to injury, Drew could argue he should be the one to win the vacant title. Or is this about something more personal? Maybe Drew resents Cody's success. Maybe he's jealous that Cody got the WrestleMania moment Drew never got. Maybe there's backstory we're about to discover that explains this attack. Drew's character has always been interesting because he's capable of being both hero and villain. He's sympathetic when he talks about his journey, but he's also ruthless when he needs to be. This attack leans hard into the ruthless side. WWE needs to give us Drew's motivation. Let him cut a promo explaining why he did this. Let him justify his actions in a way that makes sense to his character. Don't just have him attack and then disappear. What would make Drew McIntyre's attack justified in your mind? What explanation would you accept? Here's a controversial take: maybe Cody Rhodes needed this attack to add edge to his character. Maybe his championship reign was getting too smooth, too easy, and this adds the adversity that makes stories compelling. Think about it. Cody has been pretty dominant as champion. He's been winning his feuds cleanly. He's been the heroic babyface who overcomes challenges through hard work and integrity. That's great, but it can also become predictable. Having him get attacked, having him potentially injured, having him vulnerable, that adds layers. Now Cody has to show his toughness. He has to prove he can bounce back from adversity. He has to demonstrate that being champion means fighting through pain. This could actually make Cody more sympathetic and interesting as champion. Fans rally behind wounded warriors. They want to see someone fight through injuries and setbacks. It's classic underdog storytelling even when applied to the champion. But the risk is that it makes Cody look weak. If he can just get attacked backstage and seriously hurt, does that diminish his status as champion? Does it make him seem unable to protect himself? That's the balance WWE has to strike. Does getting attacked make a champion look vulnerable or weak? What's the difference? Let me know your thoughts. Let's discuss the match implications because if Cody is hurt, WWE's entire schedule gets thrown into chaos. What happens to his planned defenses? What happens to the feuds he was in? What happens to the TV time that was allocated to his storylines? WWE has to make quick decisions. Do they postpone Cody's next title defense? Do they create an interim champion? Do they have someone else fill Cody's spot on upcoming shows? Every option has pros and cons. If they postpone matches, fans are disappointed. They bought tickets or made plans expecting to see the champion, but at least it preserves the feuds for when Cody returns. If they create an interim champion, that cheapens the real championship. Suddenly there are two champions and confusion about who's actually on top. but it keeps the title relevant even with Cody out. If they just move on without Cody, that makes him feel less important. Like the show can function fine without the champion, but it does give other wrestlers opportunities to shine. The best case scenario is that Cody isn't seriously hurt and can compete as scheduled. Then this attack just adds intensity to his next feud without derailing anything. That's what everyone's hoping for based on Nick Aldis's update. What should WWE do if Cody has to miss time? Pick the best option and explain why. Here's what WWE absolutely must do to make this angle work. Because they've set up a potentially great storyline, but the execution will determine if it succeeds or fails. First, give us specifics about Cody's condition. Don't be vague. Tell us what injuries Drew caused. Give us a timeline. Make it feel real instead of leaving everything mysterious. Second, show consequences for Drew. He can't just attack the champion and walk away like nothing happened. Fine him. Suspend him. Have security escort him out. Show that actions have consequences. Third, build to a payoff match. This attack needs to lead to Cody vs. Drew in a brutal environment. Street fight. Steel cage. Hell in a cell. Something that allows Cody to get revenge. Fourth, keep Nick Aldis involved. He's the authority figure who has to manage this situation. Show him trying to maintain order while both Cody and Drew are pushing boundaries. Fifth, make it personal. This can't just be about the championship. There needs to be real animosity between Cody and Drew that makes fans invested in seeing Cody get revenge. What match stipulation should Cody vs. Drew have? Make it brutal. Give me your most creative idea. Let me give you my prediction for how this plays out. I think Nick Aldis's update revealed that Cody is hurt but cleared to compete. The perfect WWE middle ground. He's injured enough to sell sympathy but not so injured he can't work. I think Cody will compete with visible injuries, tape on his ribs, limping slightly, selling the attack's effects while still being functional as champion. This creates built-in drama for his matches. I think Drew will be fined but not suspended. Aldis will punish him financially but keep him on the roster because WWE needs him as a top heel. Drew will mock the fine and promise more violence. I think this builds to a match at the next Premium Live event. Probably a no disqualification or street fight where Cody can get his revenge without restrictions. The match will be brutal. I think during the build, Drew will attack Cody again, multiple times, each attack more vicious than the last. This shows Drew is relentless and creates more reasons for Cody to want revenge. I think Cody ultimately wins the feud but Drew looks strong in defeat. Both men are elevated. Cody proves his toughness. Drew establishes himself as a top-level heel. Everyone benefits. How accurate do you think my predictions are? What am I missing? Give me your predictions. Here's my final take on this situation. Nick Aldis's update about Cody Rhodes after Drew McIntyre's backstage attack is a crucial moment that will define the next several weeks of SmackDown. The information Aldis provided, the consequences he announced, the tone he set, all of it matters. If WWE handles this correctly, if they make the attack feel important and build to a satisfying conclusion, this could be one of the best feuds of Cody's championship reign. Drew McIntyre is perfect as a villain. His size, his intensity, his promo ability, he has everything needed to be a top heel. Cody selling vulnerability while still being a fighting champion creates compelling drama. Fans will rally behind him. They'll want to see him overcome adversity and get revenge on Drew. That's basic but effective storytelling. But WWE can't drop the ball on follow-through. Too many times they create great initial moments and then lose momentum. This needs consistent development every week leading to a blow-off match that delivers. Now I need your complete thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about Cody's condition? Should Drew McIntyre be suspended, fined, fired, or face no consequences? What do you think Nick Aldis actually said in his update? Be specific. Who do you want to win an eventual Cody vs. Drew match? Is this the beginning of the feud of the year or just another angle? What's the worst backstage attack you've ever seen in WWE? Smash that like button if you're worried about Cody Rhodes. Subscribe to Wrestling Newsletter because we'll have all updates on his condition and this developing storyline. Hit that bell. Share this with everyone who needs to know what happened to the WWE champion. This is serious and could change everything on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre just declared war, and Nick Aldis has to deal with the fallout. The next few weeks of SmackDown are going to be intense. Let's see if Cody can recover and get his revenge on Drew. This storyline is just getting started.